ending genocide. History is taking note of your position. This is about our collective dignity. In Gaza, there are dreamers, poets, healers, mothers, teachers, doctors, nurses, medics. They are asking us with their last strength, where is our mercy? Where is your mercy? To my colleagues in this hospital and the other hospitals around this city that is famous for its hospitals, you have not spoken out yet. Let our profession rise to meet this moment with bravery and integrity. Let the world remember us as the medics who stood against genocide, against starving children with our own tax dollars. Thank you.
My name is Ali. I am a human. I am a doctor from Gaza. I've seen more death than any human being should ever have to see. Every day we've tried to save lives. But now I say this with complete honesty and a heavy heart. There is nothing left we can do. Again, I am a human and I'm pleading just to be heard. Please help us. Those words are from Dr. Ali Tarwawi, an emergency medicine physician in Gaza. Thank you all for being here. I know that there's some loud noise in the background, but imagine it being the sound of bombs raining down, of people screaming, and of people banging their pots and pans out of hunger. So we can cope with a little background noise. My name is Dr. Brett Lewis. I am a fifth-year resident doctor in both family medicine and psychiatry. I am also a New England Regional Vice President for the Committee of Interns and Residents, or SEIU-CIR. We represent 40,000 resident and fellow physicians, the largest physician union in the United States. As a doctor, there is no worse feeling than that of being powerless to help my patients. To have to sit down beside someone who is suffering and tell them that I have nothing more to offer them. Not because I don't understand what is wrong, not because there isn't treatment for their condition, but because our society has decided that simply due to their insurance status, where they were born, or their inability to pay, that they are not worthy enough to be given the care they deserve as a human being. Imagine the depth of that gut-wrenching feeling that our colleagues must be experiencing every single day in Gaza. Our colleagues put on their scrubs every morning, knowing that identifying themselves as healthcare workers puts both them and their family at higher risk of being murdered. Hundreds of our colleagues have been detained and tortured, many of whom continue to be detained and tortured as I speak, simply because they refused to leave their patients. And right now, our colleagues are caring for their patients through their own starvation. While those currently in power are afraid to call this genocide what it is, while our professional organizations are silent, we, the next generation of healthcare workers, are looking elsewhere for our guidance within our profession. Namely, we are looking to the healthcare workers of Gaza who embody the true spirit of the Hippocratic Oath, who are in true service to humanity, even when the rest of the world has forgotten their own. We at CIR will continue to honor the two resolutions that we passed last year by a landslide, in which we pledged as an organization to unapologetically stand against genocide and apartheid, support the boycott, divestment, and sanctions movement, and that we will not endorse any candidate who votes in support of sending military weapons to Israel or accepts financial contributions in favor of genocide.
That's right.
As Dr. Omar L. Akkad said, one day everyone will have always been against this. But we know the truth. We know the AMA has been silent.
Yes.
We know our institutions and professional organizations continue to turn a blind eye.
Yes.
And we know which politicians have been afraid to speak up. The current administration has already cut $880 billion from Medicaid to line the pockets of billionaires, ICE, and the Israeli war machine. If you cannot stand up to genocide, what will you stand up for? What we do now will never be enough to make up for the past 2 years of silence in the face of a live stream genocide. But this may be our last chance. The money is there, the aid is there, waiting at the border. We just need to open the gates.
Open the gates.
There is no war in health. Sorry, there is no health in war. There is no justice in an unjust system. Liberation is medicine, and Gaza needs it now. Open the gates.
My name is Gregory Grawell. I'm a child psychiatrist here in the Boston area. Okay. It's day 291 of Israel's genocide in Gaza. As we are speaking here now, the Palestinian people of Gaza are dying a slow and horrible death. But they have to also endure the horror of having to watch their children die a slow and a horrible death by manufactured starvation. This is mass murder. How can the world and America allow this to happen? Where is the red line? We are witnessing new levels of horror and depravity. The US-run Gaza Humanitarian Foundation has become the most recent version of this mass murder of the people of Palestine and Gaza. It is doing this by withholding and weaponizing their access to food. These aid centers are not aid centers. They are death traps and killing fields. What we are seeing now is a silent and deadlier version of this accelerated genocide. Hospitals are still being bombed. Doctors, health workers, and journalists are still being abducted and killed and starved. This is an engineered and deliberate dismantling of life and life-giving structures. There is aid, there is food, but they are not letting the trucks get in. Food is a human right. Water is a human right. Healthcare is a human right. Say it with me. Food is a human right.
Food is a human right.
Water is a human right.
Water is a human right.
Healthcare is a human right.
Healthcare is a human right.
Food 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 is a human right.
Healthcare is a human right.
Healthcare is a human right.
This is not normal.
This is not normal.
This cannot be normal.
This cannot be.
No more business as usual as this death mongering and this economy of genocide continues. We must put an end to this. We must resist this. We must speak up against this. Call the White House. Tell the president to end this. Call the AMA. Do something. Picket in front of your hospitals. Stop billing for your labor until the world and the people in power do something. Say with me. Stop the bombs and end the slaughter.
Stop the bombs and end the slaughter.
Give them aid and food and water.
Give them aid and food and water.
Stop the bombs and end the slaughter.
Stop the bombs and end the slaughter.
Give them food and aid and water.
Give them food and aid and water.
Stop the Give them food and water. Give them food and aid and water.
Give them food and aid and water.
Give them food and aid and water.
Give them food and aid and water.
Give them food and aid and water.
Give them food and aid and water.
Give them food and aid and water.
Give them food and aid and water. Yeah, I think so.
Hi, everyone. My name is Dr. Kerim Ahmed. I work in the clinic down the street. All of our patients are on Medicaid. It matters where we're doing this. This is the place where the poor and dispossessed, where we live, get their care. And Palestine isn't another planet. What happens here is connected to what is happening in Gaza. I'm speaking on behalf of the Nonviolent Medicaid Army, an organization of poor and working class people of which I'm a member. The Nonviolent Medicaid Army is a human rights organization led by people on or excluded from Medicaid. 800 people die from poverty every day in this country. We say fund Medicaid, not war, because we believe deaths from poverty in the United States are directly related to the deaths from starvation happening in Gaza. I'm going to share the testimony of my very dear research colleague in Gaza. She is a 35-year-old medical doctor and public health specialist. This is her message to you. Right now, we are not only fighting hunger and disease, we are fighting for dignity, for the right to care for our people. Hospitals are collapsing. Our patients are starving. And yet we keep going because we must. But we can't do this alone. Fundraising helps, but let's be honest, it's nowhere near enough. People in Gaza need consistent, safe access to food. What we're seeing now with the current food distribution system, the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, is that it's not just inadequate, it's dangerous. The chaos and lack of organization at distribution points are leading to more injuries and deaths and pushing an already collapsing healthcare system far beyond its limits. Please keep speaking, keep demanding an end to starvation, and keep pushing for access to healthcare and food for everyone. The economic system which is starving Palestinian people to death is the same system which threatens the lives of poor people in the United States.
That's right.
That is why, my friend, that is why she's asking us to make broad demands for basic human rights for all people. She's not just asking us to fight for her, we have to fight for ourselves. The people who live here have a stake in this system of death. In the NVMA, we are committed to the unity and to the growing leadership of people who have everything to gain and nothing to lose from a fundamental transformation of society. At the end of his life, Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. was calling for an end to the war in Vietnam because he saw that the war machine was directly related to poverty at home. He called for a nonviolent army of the poor, and that is where the nonviolent Medicaid army gets its namesake. We need unity between people fighting for their survival in Gaza and people who are fighting for their survival in the US, as millions of people are cut off of their health care, millions of people are cut off of food stamps. These struggles are connected. This unity is the only way to end the conditions which have led to the current state of famine, which enable and propel the war economy, which is starving children and adults and mothers and men in Gaza to death. If we make the powers that be feed Gaza today, we'll have the power to feed and care for everyone tomorrow. We have to end the conditions that enable genocide.
Yes.
You hear me? You hear me? Yeah. Is that good? Yeah. My name's Jordana L. I'm an internist and addiction medicine specialist in Boston. I'm a member of Healthcare Workers for Palestine. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Woo! I want to share the words of Dr. Mohammed Abu Mugassib, the Doctors Without Borders Deputy Medical Coordinator in Gaza. I've been surviving on 1 meal per day. And in the past few days, I've had only 1 meal every 2 days, and I'm not the only one. We care for patients who are dying of hunger, while we ourselves are starting to starve. Ambulance drivers who transport the wounded and patients as well are starving. We're expected to save lives, while our own are slowly being consumed. For nearly 2 years, we've watched Israel enact genocide to erase Palestinian life in Gaza. We see the decimation of schools, hospitals, water systems. We read the names of more than 20,000 children killed since October 7th. We hear fellow medical workers describe unspeakable horrors as they respond to bleeding and maimed bodies, desperate to save lives. Only to be detained, tortured, killed themselves. And now we're haunted by the faces of Palestinian children succumbing to forced starvation. How can we witness this in silence? How can we let our government spend nearly $18 billion to fueling Israel's war crimes? How can we allow our hospitals, our professional societies, to welcome Israeli partnerships? To invest in Israeli companies? We are healthcare workers in the country that is the primary sponsor of this genocide. We try to relieve suffering. We heal. We cherish all life. And we invite our colleagues and our community to join us in resistance. Thank you.
Thank you to all of our speakers. As we wrap up, we want to share a little bit about how we can all do our part to end the genocide. As healthcare workers, our duty is to do no harm. It is time, it is beyond time for us to rise in our collective power and take action now to end forced mass starvation as genocide. This is how we can play our part. We demand the following. The leadership of Massachusetts health systems and academic medical centers must condemn the forced starvation of Gaza. The United States must dismantle the mercenary and immoral Gaza Humanitarian Foundation. The U.S. must implement a complete and immediate arms embargo against Israel. Israel must immediately allow unrestricted emergency food and medicine aid into Gaza, exclusively managed by the United Nations and Palestinian-led humanitarian organizations. And the UN Security Council must enforce international law to protect medical personnel and healthcare infrastructure from systematic Israeli violence and put an end to forced starvation in Gaza. As the inaction in the face of this unspeakable suffering continues, we are forced to reckon with our own complicity as employees of our institution. Have we let our fear get in the way of doing everything we can to stop the U.S.-Israeli genocide of the Palestinian people? We invite you, our colleagues, our communities, to consider how you can take action to end these atrocities. And we implore our institutions to pressure the Trump administration to put an end to this forced starvation, end arms trade with Israel, and do everything in its power to put a stop to this genocide. This concludes our remarks. We're available to take questions.
Hi everyone. My name's Kerim again. We talked about unity. This is a long struggle. We need food for Gaza today, but we need to act together. So if you don't already have a song sheet, pass these around. This is a freedom song about unity, and Jordy's gonna help us sing it.
We need your help.
We seriously need your help.
Okay. Ready?
We're getting into step. We're getting into step. We're getting into step to win our freedom. Too many years we've been divided. Now it's time to unify. We're getting into step to win our freedom. We're getting into step. We're getting into step. We're getting into step to win our freedom. Too many years we've been divided, now it's time to unify. We're getting into step to win our freedom. Louder, we're getting into step. We're getting into step. We're getting into step to win our freedom. They starve our children near and far. We won't be silent anymore. We're getting into step to win our freedom. We're getting into step. We're getting into step. We're getting into step to win our freedom. Families thrown out of their homes, the homeless union daily grows. We're getting into step to win our freedom. Again, we're getting into step. We're getting into step. We're getting into step to win our freedom. They tear our children from our arms. 1,000 voices raise alarm. We're getting into step doing our freedom. We're getting into step. We're getting into step. We're getting into step. Doing our freedom. Too many years we've been divided. Now it's time to unify. We're getting into step. Doing our freedom. One more time. We're getting into step. We're getting into step. We're getting into step. Doing our freedom. Too many years we've been divided. Now it's time to unify. We're getting into step. Doing our freedom. Open the gate. Open the gate. Open the gate. Open the gate. Open the gate.
Something for you.
I gave them to dude. I think I gave out all.
We don't have any more.
Oh, I think that you know, with the hat and it had a lanyard.